Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a truly cinematic journey into what is, without a doubt, the grandest sanctuary of Venetian art in the world. I'm talking about the Gallerie dell'Accademia. Now, if you've ever stopped and wondered why Venetian painting feels so incredibly distinct, so alive with color and light and just raw human emotion, well, the answer's right here, resting quietly along the banks of the Grand Canal. So let's dive right in and explore the fascinating architectural evolution of this space and the timeless masterpieces it guards.
The former director of the Gallery, Giulio Cantalamessa, absolutely hit the nail on the head when he called this place the ultimate compendium of Venetian painting from the 14th to the 18th century. Because when you walk through the hallowed halls of the Dorsoduro district, you really aren't just visiting some standard modern exhibition space. You're quite literally stepping back into a world shaped by 15th century devotion and the vibrant, bustling pulse of a maritime republic. The atmosphere here is just profound. It's steeped in centuries of quiet contemplation, but also, as you'll see, explosive artistic rebellion.
So let's start with part 1, a sanctuary for Venetian art and the evolution of Santa Maria della Carità.
Well, before it was a museum, this entire complex was a sanctuary of a very different kind, and it's witnessed a massive span of history. Starting way back in the 12th century, these grounds hosted religious orders and the Battitunti, which was a confraternity of flagellants. Then by the 1560s, the architectural genius Andrea Palladio was actually modifying the eastern wing. But the absolute crucial turning point for us? That's 1807. During the fall of the Venetian Republic, religious congregations were being suppressed and local artwork was just being systematically looted. But ironically, it was an edict by Napoleon himself that established the Accademia di Belle Arti right here. So out of all that political turmoil, a sanctuary was born that basically saved Venice's local heritage from total destruction.
Moving right along to part 2, the triumph of color, focusing on the Venetian aesthetic philosophy.
Okay, to really appreciate what was saved here, we have to understand the core philosophical battle of Italian Renaissance art. It's absolutely crucial. Over in Florence, artists like Michelangelo prized disegno, that's drawing, strict line work, and intellectual rigor. But Venetian artists, they charted a completely different course. They championed colore, celebrating rich color, light, and sensuous beauty. Heavily inspired by the humid, shimmering atmosphere of their lagoon city, they manipulated oil paints to create a style that was uniquely atmospheric and so deeply emotionally resonant.
That brings us to part 3, Mysteries and Masterpieces, looking at some luminous innovations. We absolutely have to start with Giorgione's The Tempest. This small canvas has literally puzzled art historians for over 5 centuries. What we see is a young soldier and a nursing mother outside during this sudden lightning storm. But why are they there? What does the whole scene mean? Honestly, we still don't know. There is no agreed-upon answer. Get this, modern X-rays even revealed that Giorgione originally painted a second nude female figure right beneath where the soldier is now. What makes this such a real game-changer is that it's widely considered the very first pure mood painting in Western art. The landscape and the atmosphere are the actual subjects here. The traditional narrative gets pushed entirely to the side. And then, right down the hall is Giovanni Bellini's San Giobbe altarpiece. If you ever want to see the precise birth of the Venetian mastery of oil painting, well, this is it. The luminous flesh tones, the incredibly soft, diffused light that just perfectly bathes the saints. It's stunning. This majestic piece didn't just hang quietly in a church. It established the absolute template for the Venetian Sacra Conversazione, or sacred conversation. It influenced entire generations of painters to prioritize harmonious light over strict, rigid lines.
Let's look at part 4, Titans of the Canvas and their monumental narratives.
So from those quiet, harmonious beginnings, the Venetian style exploded into a monumental scale. And that brings us to one of the most audacious tales of the High Renaissance. Paolo Veronese painted this massive, densely crowded banquet scene that he originally titled The Last Supper. Well, the Holy Inquisition was frankly furious. They argued that throwing drunkards, dwarves, and dogs into a sacred subject was completely inappropriate. So what was Veronese's kiki solution? He didn't repaint a single stroke. He literally just changed the title to Feast in the House of Levi, to outsmart them. It's such a brilliant testament to the unapologetic, slightly rebellious theatricality of Venetian painters.
And you know, that same intense theatricality defined the young Tintoretto. He was heavily influenced by artists arriving from central Italy and introduced to what was called Michelangelesque gigantism. Tintoretto took that traditional Venetian love of color and, well, he violently fused it with Mannerist tension. He created these highly dynamic figures, contrived spatiality, and insane dramatic foreshortening. He was basically painting with cinematic excitement centuries before the camera was even invented.
Finally, we reach part 5, a living legacy, exploring the timeless resonance of the body.
Now, it's really important to remember that this museum is absolutely not just some static vault of the past. It is a living legacy. A perfect example of this is the groundbreaking 2026 exhibition featuring performance artist Marina Abramović. The exhibit creates this profound dialogue by juxtaposing Abramović's modern explorations of the physical body with Titian's final, unfinished masterpiece, the Pietà. Titian's piece features this dark, frantic brushwork, and he actually painted it during a plague for his very own tomb. By placing these works together across a gap of literally 450 years, the gallery forces us to look at those old Renaissance archetypes of suffering and redemption through a completely contemporary lens.
So, what does this all mean for us today? What you should really take away from this explainer is that the Gallerie dell'Accademia is so much more than a collection of old paintings. It is the beating heart of Venetian culture. And it leaves us with a really provocative question to think about. As you walk the Dorsoduro Museum mile, do you see just history, or do you see the enduring, timeless pulse of human emotion captured forever in oil and light? I really hope this journey has sparked your curiosity to experience the magic of Venetian colors for yourself. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today.